I'm what you would refer to as a noob at painting. So I thought today, why don't I try it out again, see how it works, and try and implement it into my current style. Let's get right into what we've got here. So starting off, we have this set of watercolors, and we've also got a set of acrylics. Now I must point out before we start this, these are probably the cheapest paints that you will find. And now you might be thinking, what am I going to use these with? Well, fear not, as I've got brushes. So this is a pack of 30 brushes. As you can see here, we've got 5 different designs and then 6 of each brush. Now this is meant for classrooms, as you can see here. I don't know why I need this, but yeah, I've got enough brushes to last me for several years, so hopefully this should be enough. Now just in case these weren't enough, I've also got these, I believe they're more expensive brushes, but enough of me rambling on about that. Let's talk paper. So for the watercolors, we have this lovely watercolor pad. So let's just look at the quality of paper we've got here. So as you can see, if it picks up, you can see a little bit of texturing here. It's a lot rougher than most paper. I don't know if like the texture is supposed to help the color stick or anything, but yeah, I don't know, I'll have to find out. Now for the acrylics, we've got this canvas pad here. If we take a look at this page here, so it's very textured, as you'd expect a canvas to be, and it's actually quite a lot more cloth-like, or like a fabric, than the paper. I'm guessing that's purely just because it is canvas. So let's just get right into just adding some little swabs and seeing how they lay down and how they work pretty much. So let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to start with the acrylic paints. I'm not sure if you need water for this, I don't think so. Yeah, we're going to start by just layering down one colour here, so we've got orange. Alright, so we've got a little blob here. I couldn't actually find a palette or anything, so I'm using this paper. Hopefully it will do and won't impact my painting capabilities. So we're just going to lay a little bit down here. I should probably zoom into this, shouldn't I? So we're just going to lay down square-ish thing here, so it goes down pretty well. It doesn't travel very far, so if I just get a new little block, you can see it doesn't move that far whatsoever. Alright, so I added some water. Alright then, so it's the next day. Yeah, the recording cut out. We're back, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of what happened. So I managed to mix the acrylic together, and it's dried, and it looks decent. I could probably have put more work into it. That's where we're at the minute. And then I moved over to using the watercolors. So I'm just going to get those in a second. Right, so now we're moving on to using watercolors. So as you can see here, we've got our set, and they ain't looking too good. Not gonna lie. So we're just gonna open a couple of these up and see how. Whoa. Alright then, so it appears that there's some kind of crystal stuff going on here. Hopefully it's not too bad. Ooh, alright then, so if I just focus this real quick. So it looks like the paint has like separated into like 2 different substances, like an oily one that's like really sticky and stuff, and then this kind of crystal-like stuff. Well, hopefully it comes out alright, so let's just give it a little test here. Oh, that is not great. As you can see here, it's solid. The whole thing is pretty much solidified. Okay, so I opened up the packet here, and hopefully you can see what it looks like if I just brighten this up a little bit. So effectively I've got a packet of oil and cocaine. So yeah, let's see if, oh god, let's see if the other colours are at least a little bit better. So we've got an orange. Oh, okay, that comes out. So let's just put a little test down here. Alright, so it's actually, the consistency is a little bit thicker. I believe, than the acrylic. So yeah, look at that. That one's a lot more. That's a lot more fluid. So I'm guessing since it's watercolor, you've got to mix it with water, of course. And alright, so I'm not sure the exact consistency that you need for this. I'm guessing it's just going to be like around that kind of. So yeah, we're just going to test it out here. Alright, so as you can see here, it's a lot more transparent than the acrylic, which, I mean, it makes sense because it's got water in it, water's clear. So I guess I'm just a massive idiot here, but alright, so now we're going to do the smear test to see how far it travels. So we're going to start here. And alright, you might not be able to see it very well, but it does travel quite far. So now we're just going to test if it blends with another colour. So alright then. Well, I was going to use the red here. I believe it's the same colour as the acrylics, just so they match up a little bit. And alright then, this is completely like solidified. I'm not going to be able to use that. How about some burnt umber brown? That might work. I think I should probably describe that as more of the acrylic kind of consistency. I'm not sure which one's the correct consistency, but I mean, with my look and these paints, it's probably neither of them. So I'm just gonna go and lay this down. Alright, so as you can see here, the brown is really overpowering the orange, and so it's less of a mix and more of the brown just taking over the orange. I tried lifting some of it off with the with a bit like paper towel, but yeah, it's not looking great. So I'm just gonna see if maybe if I take a little bit off of the middle bit, maybe it's starting to like take up part of the paper. I'm not sure if this is like normal or if I'm applying too much water or whatever, but it don't look good. So I'm gonna bring in the backup here, which is my other set, and we're gonna see how they both compare. Alright, so we're back. It appears that the red has kind of overtaken the orange a little bit, but overall it's a lot better than this one, especially since I did mop up quite a bit of the water off of here, and it does still take up quite a lot of the pigment with it, leaving it looking quite patchy, but I feel like it's a lot easier to just kind of cover over that in comparison to this one here. But overall, I'd probably say these are a lot better than the tube ones. Let's just get into doing a piece now, so let's get into it. So as you can see here, for the first piece, I decided to draw Superman. Now, before you let me know in the comments, I know the proportions are all a bit off. This is purely just to see how well the colours work, so I wasn't too bothered on many of the proportions or anything like that, so it does look a little bit off, but we'll look over that. So moving on to the colour, I wasn't sure what kind of a consistency I was supposed to be getting, so I went in with quite a watered down layer to start with, which didn't give the kind of saturation that I was hoping for. So then I had to go over it again with a little bit of a thicker consistency, which ended up giving it quite a bit of a kind of retro feel to it, which I really quite like personally. Now finally, with the skin tones, the sets that I had didn't have a skin tone, which is kind of expected, I guess. I was going to work around it until I realised that there was no white either, so I couldn't get like a pink or anything like that, so I had to use red with a bit of yellow and orange, and then a little bit of brown for a little bit of like warmth, which, I mean, it kind of worked, but it's a bit inconsistent, as you can see. Now before we move on, I'd just like to ask you to please consider liking and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. We'd love to have you here. We're close to 250 subs as well, so if you want to help us reach that, then you're more than welcome to. But without further ado, let's get right into the second one. I believe they're more expensive brushes. So for this, I took inspiration from some of those kind of satisfying videos from a couple years ago, and I decided to draw some kind of nebula galaxy type thing, using a lot of circular strokes here. And then to finish it all up, I used very watered down white and pink acrylic to spray on these little dots to act as stars, and then using a little bit of tissue, I added a few little smudges. Yeah, I was pretty much experimenting there, but I feel like it turned out alright. So here are my finished paintings. As you can see here, we've got this kind of galaxy type thing on the canvas. I quite like how it turned out. I feel like I could have probably done a bit better, but not too bad for a first attempt, I guess. With the watercolors, I tried doing more of kind of my style. Although, as you can see, it is pretty inaccurate. Like the hair, you can't really get much detail into it. It just looks a little bit messy in some areas. But overall, I quite like the effect that the watercolors give. So as you can see, especially around here, it kind of gives more of a kind of old school, maybe like 90s kind of effect maybe. But yeah, I really like using the watercolors in this kind of style. I might do it in the future a bit. Also, let me know which one you like best. Leave a comment down below. Galaxy or Superman, which one do you prefer? But yeah, if you are an experienced painter, please let me know what I can do to improve my painting skills in a comment down below. I'd love to hear it, and I want to learn more about this. Without further ado, I'll see you all next time.